Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and appreciate you guys checking out today's video and spending some time with me, guys, because today we're going to be talking about how tackle companies are starting to go out of business. They're starting to suffer from a variety of issues in today's bass fishing industry. A lot of different reasons we're going to talk about this, but I sort of want to bring this to everybody's attention. I think a lot of people that follow the sport are pretty aware of this. But if you're not, we have got a dilemma in the sport that has been created by a variety of different reasons that the tackle industry is struggling right now, and it's going to continue to struggle unless we address some of these issues. So we're going to get into that today's episode. I'm also, guys, big thank you out there for everybody that's taken time to check out my Fish the Moment lake map breakdowns, guys. If you're looking for some good places to fish this fall and winter, please check them out. I'll put my Fish the Moment website, or Johnny Schultz's Fish the Moment website, and link in the description. These are maps that I have built for the website. Like I said, great resources to learn more about a lake you've never been to before, or a lake you're going to. So I'll have that in the description here. And also, guys, thank you very much for everybody that's taken time to use and bookmark my Tackle Warehouse link for your tackle purchases. If you guys are doing that, you're really supporting the channel in a big way. So big thank you from everybody here at the house. Okay, guys, one of the reasons I wanted to do this video is I was just talking to a friend of mine today that owns a tackle company, and he said that he heard of 3 different companies that have closed their doors, 3 different tackle companies that have just closed their doors recently in light of everything that's happening to the industry right now. Now, there's a lot of different reasons for this, but across the board, it's like if you look at all like the online retailers and some of the big box retailers, they are cutting back inventory. They're cutting back SKUs, they're cutting back colors, they're cutting back different like weight options on jigs. They're reducing inventory because tackle sales are down across the board. And there's a couple different reasons. You can't ever deny, regardless if somebody wants to live in a fantasy world, these tariffs are finally starting to kick in. Tariffs are paid by the consumers, which the consumers of the fishing tackle industry are bass anglers. So the bass anglers are having to basically pay higher costs for your tackle through these tariffs, and it's going to continue to do so on a variety of different lure categories and tackle categories, depending upon the components used. Some components on these tariffs are going to jack up tackle prices more than others. But if you guys buy a lot of tackle, or you've spent much time in a tackle store, you're noticing an increase in the cost of our tackle through these tariffs, and it's going to continue as more and more of them kick in. But along with the tariffs, another thing that is equal, or maybe even has a bigger impact, is the fact that what we've seen forward-facing sonar do to the non-forward-facing sonar lure categories. And this is the reason why the big box retailers and some of the online retailers are cutting back their inventories. And I've talked to tackle reps, guys, industry reps. Forward-facing sonar has just had a huge negative impact on tackle sales across the board for those other non-categories. So if you look at forward-facing sonar, the primary techniques that they use as far as lure techniques are jig heads or minnow type baits, drop shots a little bit, maybe some jerk baits, but mainly it's those baits that they can throw out there that you work horizontal through the water column, to use with the cheater box. So given that, you're dealing with a very small, number of lure categories and very small number of different lures. And a lot of these lures, aside from like the jerk baits, are pretty low cost, so there's not a big profit margin in it. While your other lure categories, like the mainstays of bass fishing, all your Texas rig stuff, your crankbaits, your topwater lures, your spinner baits, hardcore traditional bass fishing lures that have basically been responsible for supporting and maintaining the tackle industry for the past 5 or 6 decades, those sales, we've seen them in a consistent decline as more and more people use forward-facing sonar. Now, here is one of the things that you can't deny with that. It's like we have more people fishing right now than we ever have before. So common logic says that we have more people on the water, we have more people fishing, and it's not equating into tackle sales. Tackle sales are going down in the face of the fact that, everything's more expensive and people just don't use those particular lure categories anymore. But I've never seen anything like it. It's like I realize right now everything's going up. The price of groceries are going through the roof right now. You know, just the cost of living is going through the roof right now. Tackle is discretionary, so a lot of people, you know, they'd rather buy, you know, groceries for their family than go down and stock up on tackle right now. So we have both a combination of macro and microeconomics involved here that has to do with, you know, policy that is set that contributed to a lot of this. But we're not in a good place right now as far as the you know, the retail side of the tackle industry that has been a backbone of the sport forever is struggling right now, and we see it across the board. And it was evident at the ICAST show this year. And until we have a reversal in this, it's not going to get any better. I mean, until these tariffs are removed and we start to have some long-term financial stability, you know, where companies know they're not going to have these tariffs imposed on their imports and exports, and until we ban forward-facing sonar and return bass fishing to where it needs to be, where all these diverse lure categories are equally used, it is going to be a tough road for the fishing industry. I mean, the best thing, guys, for the bass fishing industry, if you're a tackle manufacturer or if you're a retailer, the best thing that could ever happen is they ban and make forward-facing sonar illegal. You're going to see everybody's profit margins will increase, the sales will start increasing across the board, everything will get better. So, sort of a twofold topic right there. You know, you got tariffs, which you can't really do much about other than voice your opposition to your lawmakers, and then the fact that, you know, forward-facing sonar continues not only to devastate the tradition and the heritage of the sport, but it's starting now to devastate our pocketbooks as well. And, you know, the more pressure we put on, you know, Bassmaster and MLF and tournament organizations to ban this technology, the better it's going to be off for everybody. So think about this, guys. If Bassmaster and MLF would just stop with these half measures and stop trying to placate everybody and say forward-facing sonar is terrible for everybody, it's terrible for our economy, it's terrible for the fishing, we're going to ban it. We're not going to have it. It's not going to have any place in there. You're going to immediately see tackle sales and profit margins shoot up as a result of that decision. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think about it. We'll check in later.